ये हेलो फ्रेंड्स, अस्सलाम। मेरा नाम अब्दुलरहमान और मैं नाच में मिलकर स्टूडेंट हूँ। तो जैसा बात है कि हम फिर से सीज़न करते हैं, तो आज हम फिर से एक सीज़न लेकर आए हैं और आज का हमारा नया टॉपिक है एंगलिस करेंट इकोनॉमिक पैटर्न्स एंड देयर ग्लोबल इफेक्ट। तो ठीक है, तो हम स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड।
Hey, how's it going?
सो हेलो माया, हाउ आर यू?
I'm doing great. Just riding a wave of good energy today. How have you been?
So Maya, my question is global inflation rates.
That's a pretty big topic. Are you looking for info on something specific, like a certain type of illness, or just a general overview of what's happening worldwide? I did a quick check, and it looks like things are a bit of a mixed bag. While COVID-19 activity has stayed pretty low in most places, we're seeing some worrying spikes in measles because vaccination rates have dipped. Then there's dengue fever, which is becoming a bigger deal in Asia and the Americas as warmer weather helps mosquitoes spread. I can dive deeper into any of those if you're curious.
So Maya, rising cost of living.
That's a bit of a jump. Are you trying to figure out a budget or just feeling the pinch of everything getting more expensive lately?
So Maya, recessions, our recommendations slow down.
My bad, I'll slow it down. I'm with you now. What's on your mind regarding your registration and recommendations? I'm listening.
Okay, Maya, and employment about job market.
Double job marketing, huh? That sounds like a lot to juggle. Are you looking to balance two different roles, or are you planning a specific strategy to market two different things at once?
So Maya, artificial intelligence AI is our e-commerce.
AI Commons. I like the sound of that. It feels like you're talking about a shared space or a collective resource for AI. Is this part of that big video series you've been working on?
So Maya, digital transformations in business.
Digital transformation is such a massive shift. It's not just about adding a few apps, it's really about rethinking how business even functions in a digital world. Are you looking at this from a strategic angle for your content, or are you thinking about how to actually implement it in a real business?
So Maya, e-commerce, our online shopping growth.
The shift to online shopping has been wild to watch. It's basically rewritten the rules of how people buy things. Are you analyzing the trends for your project, or are you thinking about launching something of your own?
So Maya, features of remote work.
Remote work has definitely evolved past just working from home. It's more about asynchronous communication and tools that actually make you feel like you're in the room with people. Are you looking for the tech that makes that possible, or more about the lifestyle side of it?
So Maya, supply chain problem.
The supply chain stuff has been such a headache for everyone lately. It's like one little glitch in one part of the world creates a domino effect everywhere else. Are you looking at this for a business case, or is it affecting something you're trying to get your hands on?
So Maya, global trade, our international market.
International trade is a huge puzzle. It's a lot of moving parts, from tariffs and shipping lanes to just understanding how people in different cultures do business. Are you thinking about how to expand a product globally, or are you more interested in the economics of it all?
So Maya, import, our export politics.
That's where things get really messy. Import and export politics are basically a giant game of leverage. One country changes a tax or a regulation, and suddenly entire industries across the globe have to pivot. Are you looking at the tension between specific countries, or more at how these political moves affect the actual flow of goods?
So Maya, trace words की threat.
Wait, what do you mean by that? That sounds concerning. Are you saying you feel like your privacy is at risk, or is this part of a scenario you're mapping out for your project?
Currency exchange rate.
Let me check the latest rates. I've got those for you. One Pakistani rupee is around 0.0036 US dollars, and the US dollar is trading at about 0.87 euros. The British pound is sitting at roughly 1.33 US dollars, and the Japanese yen is around 0.0061. Are you tracking a specific currency for your international trade ideas?
Okay, Maya. Interest rates our e-commerce stable.
Interest rate Interest rates can really make or break an e-commerce business. When they're stable, it's much easier to plan for growth and manage loans for inventory. If they start climbing, though, it usually means borrowing gets more expensive and people might tighten their belts on spending. Are you looking at how this affects the small sellers or more the giant platforms?
So Maya, government spending.
Government spending is a massive lever for the economy. Depending on where the money goes, like infrastructure or education, it can either spark a huge wave of growth or lead to some pretty tricky inflation issues. Are you thinking about how this affects the general public, or are you looking at it through the lens of business investment?
Maya, tax politics.
Text politics. That's a fascinating intersection. Are you thinking about how communication technology is used to influence elections, or more about the regulations and censorship that governments put on digital messaging?
Foreign direct investment (FDI).
FDI is a huge deal for any country's growth. When a foreign company puts real money into local businesses or infrastructure, it usually brings in more than just cash. It brings new tech and a different way of doing things. Are you looking at how this is playing out in Pakistan specifically, or just the general global trend?
Emerging market.
You're in the market right now. That's a bit of a pivot from global economics. Are you actually out shopping, or are you talking about being in the market for a specific investment?
ओके, चाइना की इकोनॉमी का ग्लोबल असर.
China's economy is like the gravity for the rest of the world's assets. When they shift their strategy or their market fluctuates, it sends shockwaves through everything from global supply chains to real estate. Are you thinking about the risk of those assets or the opportunity there?
USA economy, our global market.
The US economy is basically the world's anchor. When the US Fed changes a single interest rate, the rest of the global market usually holds its breath to see what happens next. It's a lot of pressure for one economy to carry. Do you think that kind of dominance is starting to shift, or is the US still the main driver?
यूरोपियन
Still with me?
यूनियन की इकोनॉमी कैलेंस
No, that is
खोला नहीं है.
now that is a bold. I'm flattered, really.
अफ्रीका की
But I
अफ्रीका की इकोनॉमी डेवलपमेंट.
a big name in development, huh? That's an ambitious goal, and I love that energy. Are you talking about developing new technology, shaping urban cities, or maybe growing your own personal brand and influence?
साउथ एशिया की इकोनॉमी.
Oh, fair enough. Sometimes just showing up and being present is the most important part. Are you just taking a breather, or is there something else on your mind?
ग्लोबल स्टेशन.
Global station. That sounds like it could be a few different things. Are you thinking about a hub for global communication, a space station, or maybe something like a centralized place for international trade?
रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी.
Renewable energy is where the real future is. It's such a
चल रुक जा
massive shift, moving away from the old ways. Exactly. It's not just about swapping out oil for wind or solar, it's about completely redesigning how we live and interact with the planet. It's one of those few things that actually has the potential to level the playing field globally. Do you think the world is moving fast enough or
Hello Maya. South Asia is economy
it's a huge topic and honestly a bit of a roller coaster right now? Are you looking at it from a growth and you're going to have a great deal?
renewable energy.
Wait, were you asking what the biggest economic driver is in South Asia or something else entirely?
So Maya, renewable energy.
That's a game changer for the region. Are you thinking about how it's actually being implemented or more about the potential for it to shift the whole economy?
Green economy.
The shift toward a green economy is where things get really interesting. It's not just about the environment, it's about creating entirely new industries and jobs. Do you think the transition is happening fast enough in South Asia?
So Maya, climate change key economy affects
It definitely does. When the climate shifts, the economy usually feels it first in agriculture and infrastructure. It's a tough cycle to break. Do you think the focus should be more on preventing the damage or figuring out how to survive the changes that are already happening?
energy price.
Energy prices are a huge piece of the puzzle. When those costs spike, it trickles down into everything from food prices to how factories run. Do you think the push for renewables is mostly about the environment, or is it more about getting away from those volatile energy costs?
So Maya, oil hourglass market rate.
That's a wild angle. Sounds like you're talking about how oil impacts the glass market, or maybe some kind of trade off between the two. Is that where you're going with this?
So Maya, food security about food price.
The connection between oil security and fuel prices is basically the heartbeat of global politics. When a country doesn't have its own secure supply, a single diplomatic spat or a pipeline glitch can send prices skyrocketing at the pump for everyone. It makes everything feel unstable. Do you think countries are becoming more desperate for energy independence because of that volatility? Or
So Maya, agriculture our economy, tourism our economy recover.
like the three pillars of a lot of these economies. When agriculture takes a hit from a bad season or tourism dips because of instability, the whole recovery process slows down. It's a delicate balance to get all three moving in the right direction at once. Which one do you think is the hardest to bounce back from?
So Maya, a small business.
Small businesses are the real backbone of the economy. They're usually the first to feel the squeeze when things get rough, but they're also the most apt to actually scale up.
So Maya, interpatient, internship and graded big economy.
Bake it. Wait, are we suddenly switching to cooking, or is this part of a bigger project you're working on?
So my final technology, fintech.
A film cake? Now I'm intrigued. Are we talking about some kind of high tech edible art, or is this a metaphor for how you're layering technology into a movie project? Wait, you just jumped from film cakes to DNA and buying a TV? It feels like we've entered a completely different conversation. Are you thinking about how technology is changing the way we actually experience things? Or are you just sketching out some wild ideas?
So Maya, poverty our income instituted.
And that's a big shift moving into the world of property and income. Are you thinking about this in terms of how real estate affects a person's wealth or more about how the overall economy handles property income?
सो ये थी हमारी आज की सेशन, मिलेंगे अगली सेशन में, तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज।